And welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning, visiting with Lieutenant Andrew Allen from the Salvation Army of Dover. Did I get the designation right?
Yes, Lieutenant.
Good. From Dover's Salvation Army. Good morning.
Good morning.
And you've been here before. We wanted to be sure to bring you back because we're getting into the Christmas season and looking forward to all the Christmassy things going on. And it's not Christmas without the Salvation Army. You guys do it right. You get us all in the spirit of giving and just all in the spirit of Christmas. So let's talk about the kettle campaign.
Yes.
First of all, how did this get started? And it's just something that's become so ingrained in our culture. It's in the movies. It's every time you think about Christmas, you hear those little bells in your head. And how do you know the history of it? Who came up with this idea of we should just have people give at Christmas time? Any idea?
Well, it started way back when William Booth started the Salvation Army, and it was just one way that people could just donate money to the Salvation Army and help out with the multitude of the programs that the Salvation Army helps with, and just assisting people in the communities around the country and around the world. So
I can't imagine all the logistics that go into making sure that there's kettles in all the right places, and how do you go about making those relationships so that you can make sure that all the stores have them outside and people to man each one of them?
Yeah, it's definitely a process. Kettle season is a season for the Salvation Army, but none of this would be possible without the generosity of the volunteers who help us out, the stores who are willing to let us stand outside their locations, and of course the people who give. The Salvation Army would not be able to do what they do without the generous donations of those donors. And everyone involved in kettles. How
is it decided who gets to stand indoors? Those are some lucky kettle people that get to stay in the warm, while others really, out in the blizzard and everything, they're out there, and hats off to them.
Yeah, we actually only have one location where people are allowed to stand inside.
Where's that?
It's in one of our Buhlers. We have one in Dover, New Philly. I believe it's the New Philadelphia location. Mm-hmm. And incidentally, that's already filled up with volunteers on Saturdays. So, yeah.
That one's gone. Okay.
Yeah, but we do take into consideration the weather, and if it's really, really cold out, or the weather's really bad. Again, that's a conversation that we have with the store managers, and talk with them about that. But
well, you're here because we want to recruit some volunteers to man these kettles right now. We need some people to... how many different locations are we looking at?
We have about 11 locations throughout Tuscarawas County, mostly Dover and New Philadelphia. We do have one location down in Uricksville at Mako's. Mm-hmm. But places like the Dover Buhlers, New Philadelphia Buhlers, Walmart. So there's places all over the place.
And what's required? How many hours will we be standing when we're volunteering and ringing the bell?
Well, the schedule is from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We do kettles, and with the volunteers, any amount of time that you're able to donate is much appreciated. Appreciated. Even if it's a couple of hours, anything helps with our kettle effort, because there's people who are unable to come in, and we're always looking to fill those spots. So
yeah, you don't want one standing empty.
Yeah,
ever.
Absolutely.
So people can contact you and say, I've only got an hour, or I've got 2 hours, and that's okay. That will be, you just fill up the schedule based on their availability.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, now the other thing is, when you're standing there ringing the bell and people come up to you, how many people say, "Oh my goodness, I don't have any change," or "I don't carry cash with me"?
Yeah, it's
and
quite
you don't
often.
take a debit card. So you've figured something out. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So this year we're doing a new kind of campaign. And they're paper kettles. So if you've ever been to Lowe's and see the 4-leaf clover, or to different locations where they're working with different organizations like the March of Dimes, things like that, the Salvation Army this year has come out with paper kettles. And it's the same concept. We we have instituted it in a couple of restaurants around Tuscarawas County, and pretty much how it works is you just you donate $1, $3, however much you want to donate. You sign your name on the card, and it goes right up for everyone to see. And it's in the shape of a kettle, so it just shows the support that you show to the Salvation Army in Tuscarawas County.
How cool to just paper the walls of all the places that are carrying these. Yep. And then this is something that we can just say, and please add an additional $5 or $10 to my bill, and then that will go to the Salvation Army.
That's right.
That should do better for you even than those quarters that everybody's scrounging for in their pockets or between their seat cushions in the car. Because oh goodness, there's a person collecting and I don't have anything.
Right. Yeah.
So way better idea to take that pressure off and really make more for those who need it.
That's right.
Where can we find these? Do you have a list of who else is going to make the paper kettles available?
Yep, we've partnered with Hog Heaven, Buffalo Wild Wings, Lee's Chicken over in New Philly, and a number of Wendy's locations throughout Tusk County. So, we greatly appreciate those partnerships that we've made, and it's definitely going to be an exciting kettle season this year. So.
Oh, I love it, because then wherever you go, and you go to those places multiple times, just tack on an extra $1 every time you're there. Yeah. There's a little challenge. That's not hard to do. We wouldn't feel it. But boy, would it make a difference on the other side, on the receiving side of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I want to talk about ringing the bells, because I've heard sometimes you go and they are ringing them. Sometimes you go and they're not ringing them, and they'll say, we're not allowed to ring the bell. What? Not allowed to ring the Salvation Army bell? What's the deal? What is the deal with the bells?
Well, the Salvation Army has national agreements with a number of locations that we ring bells at, places like Walmart and Bueller's, and the Salvation Army absolutely respects those agreements that we make. And there are stipulations that those agreements have, and the bell that we have ringing at the kettle stand is sort of our trademark. So we do encourage our kettle workers to ring the bell at their kettle locations, because, like I said, that lets people know that the Salvation Army is there. That reminds them that here we are. Again, just respecting those agreements. But at the same time, making sure that people know that we're there and that we're there to help the community around us.
Is this something that families can do together? Is there an age limit for who can ring a bell?
Yeah, we definitely would encourage families to stand. The age to stand by yourself is 16 and over. But again, if you and a group of friends would like to stand, we would definitely welcome that. So anyone who wants to stand, give me a call, and we'll get you out there, because we're always looking for volunteers to help us out.
How can people reach you, Andrew?
Sure, it's 330-364-3811, and my extension is 302. So just give me a call. We can set you up and get you out there.
Some people might feel shy. Is there any training that goes along with it, or do you just get out there and do it?
You just got to get out there and do it, honestly. And we do encourage our kettle workers to make eye contact, say hi, thank you, God bless you, Merry Christmas, have a great day, because that's what we have to do, especially during the Christmas season, just to bring that Christmas spirit and get people in that mood for giving and being generous.
Oh, yes. It 'tis the season.
Yes.
And you have done this. You've done kettles for a while, right? How long have you been doing kettles?
Well, that's funny that you should say that, because when I was really young, before I even came to the Salvation Army, my dad would get me out there to ring the bell for the kettles, and I still remember that, standing at Kmart and ringing the bell, and it was cold, but it was a lot of fun. And it's funny because I wasn't really even involved in the Salvation Army Church when I was younger, but here I am,
Yeah.
doing it now. So
Yeah.
it's funny, but and even in training, before I came here to Ohio, I got the opportunity to ring bells in New York City, which it's a whole different creature down there.
That was my very next question. You were trained in New York City. You and your wife Amanda.
Yeah.
How fun. I mean, I just picture such a Currier and Ives kind of Christmas with people skating in Central Park and you and Amanda ringing the bells and with their kettles there. Talk about doing this in New York. That had to be so much fun.
So much fun, yeah. And I actually got to go out on the dad shift, which means I went out there at 6 in the morning and stood until about 3 p.m. So, we had to get up real early, but it was just a great experience. I had the opportunity to stand at Rockefeller Center, which was so amazing. Seeing that big tree and in the city, you got to do something to grab people's attention. So we'd have these speakers that would play Christmas music and everything, and we dance and do whatever it took to grab people's attention, because a lot of times in New York City, people are focused on where they're going, and we gotta grab their attention somehow. So
I'm thinking Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
I'm thinking so many movies where that's the scene. Do you do the Salvation Army band there? Does New York have a band? That was so cool.
Yeah, the when I was a cadet in training, we would have the band play at different locations and just play Christmas music, and people would love it. People would love it. People would gather around, listen to a song or two, put some change in the kettle, and it was a great time. Really, it got me in the Christmas spirit, and I'm sure it got them in the Christmas spirit as well.
It's so much fun. When does it start? What is kettle season?
It starts November 17th.
Okay.
That's a Thursday, and it runs through to Christmas Eve.
Oh, all the way up to Christmas Eve.
That's right. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it is so much fun. What's your favorite part?
Just seeing people's faces, when they walk by, and they recognize the kettle, because, like I said, that's one of the trademarks of the Salvation Army is that red kettle. So, seeing people really get in that Christmas spirit, whether it's through music that's played at the kettle or just the ringing of the bell, just to see that joy on people's faces when they see that.
I love that you said that. The joy on people's faces, not because they're receiving anything, but because they're giving.
Yeah.
Isn't that just the truth?
It is.
There is the almost intoxicating joy of being able to give.
Yeah.
And in our abundance that we've been so incredibly blessed to be able to say thank you, God, and give to someone who might have fallen on harder times.
Yeah, absolutely.
We mentioned band. Okay, we all know New York's got a Salvation Army band, maybe Dover not. So what is the state of a Salvation Army band? How do we get one in Dover?
Well, we're trying to build up our music programs at the Corps, and in the coming years, we'd like to have a band out, playing at kettles. But a couple of times this year, hopefully, I'd like to get out there and play my cornet, because I do play cornet, and just to play a couple of Christmas carols at the kettle. And again, just to get people in the spirit. So.
How cool. When you're out shopping and you see the young man playing the cornet, yes, that's Lieutenant Andrew. You found him.
Yep.
That's so fun. You have a very cool story about giving in the kettles.
Yeah.
Tell us that.
Yeah, so a fellow lieutenant in the Salvation Army, before we became lieutenants, when we were in training, we do these internships of sorts. And he was at a Corps in Boston, I believe, and someone had dropped a gold ring in the kettle, and they put out an ad asking people, if someone was missing a gold ring, it's at the Salvation Army, if someone had accidentally dropped it in, and we didn't hear a response from anybody, no one had claimed it, and so they decided to auction it off, and it got auctioned off for over $2,000. So that gift was just amazing. And there's other stories like that all around the country, and it's just amazing to see that type of generosity, that type of just joy and love in people's hearts to do that.
And the lives that were touched by just one person saying, you know what, I'll just slip this off and pop it in and bless somebody.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We're going to take a real quick break here. Back with Lieutenant Andrew Allen from the Dover Salvation Army. You're listening to Our Community.